Welcome back to Drinking with Craig and Roger. I'm Craig.
I'm Roger.
Tomatin, tell me about it.
Tomatin. It's been around for about 120 years, and it's one of the largest distilleries in Scotland. Gives the largest proportion of its product for blends, but you can get it more easily these days as a single malt. And so today we have two different iterations of Tomatin.
Okay.
The first one we have here is 12 years old, and it says it's aged in bourbon and sherry casks.
Okay.
It's 86 proof. Okay. It costs somewhere around 55 bucks, something like that.
Okay.
So this is the normal one. They call it Dualchas, and it is about a little less than $30 a bottle, which it means it is their normal, ordinary, brand that they've been putting out for 123 years. It says it's aged in bourbon and virgin oak casks. Well, what that means, it's aged in used bourbon barrels and then plain oak. And the big difference is that this one, they used sherry casks, so you're going to get a little bit of the sherry taste in it. Yeah. And see, it's bourbon as well, so it's going to be like this, but with a little sherry taste. Okay, as you look at it, you can see that they are about the same darkness. So shall we get down to business?
Let's do both.
See, okay, here's. I get it
I'll
open.
just cut around this.
There we go.
So we are going to have the standard bottling here in the glass on our right, or on the left.
On our left, but your right. And of course, it's the same whiskey that goes into these barrels.
Non-age stated 12 year.
That's it. Yeah.
More expensive aging vessel. Okay, so
we
I'm
are.
just aerating both a little bit here. So we'll start with the Dualchas. Kind of sounds like dual cask. Perhaps it came from that.
That's probably.
Smells nice.
Clean, sweet smell. Tomatin doesn't have very much smoke in it
No,
because it is a Highland.
just a hint in it though.
Yeah.
It kind of smells grassy, like baking spices and
Fruit.
grasses and fruit. Yeah,
Fruit.
yeah, clean, brighter kind of a smell. It's good.
On those, I think pear is what I would say.
Yeah, I think you're right about that pear. Mm-hmm.
Very nice, very smooth.
Yeah, you could drink a lot of this. Has a fairly sweet flavor, and delivers all the things you get on the nose pretty well, but very light body, I think.
Yeah, sort of a malty finish.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Kind of sweet, sticky, malty stuff on the finish.
Very good.
Yeah.
Not a huge standout. Nothing about it that's gonna blow you away by any means. And like I said, you could just sip on this all day.
Yeah, I'm trying to taste the bourbon, and I'm having trouble.
You're
pulling
not
it up.
usually gonna taste bourbon in it. It's just
A little bit of it. It'll be a caramel taste, from the the sweet caramel taste,
Right.
and that may be part of the sweetness in it. But the malt is pretty sweet.
I've never gotten anything Irish or Scotch aged in used bourbon barrels that I thought had any kind of a bourbon flavor to it.
I had one once, Rosebank, and I think that's what it was. And I just was drinking with my buddy Timothy, and I was fairly new at this, but I tasted that, and I said, tastes like it was stored in bourbon barrels. He smiled and told me to go to the head of the class.
Nice.
But yeah, so I have had at least one where the bourbon came out pretty strongly.
This is one of the lightest bodied ones that I can remember.
That's why it's like it is. It is very neutral, basically. And then when the blenders take it, it's a nice base to put other things in that are more distinctive.
Yeah.
And so Tomatin has always been, a pretty middle of the road Scotch.
There's nothing not to like here. This is good. I mean, this would be a great introductory Scotch. It doesn't have the peat that really puts a lot of people off. It's got a little bit of spice. It's got some sweetness that kind of draws you in. Nice bouquet on the nose.
A little more intense than the 80 proof ones, but not too much.
Yeah, just a hair.
That's good. Good thing, I think.
Oh yeah. So now you want to move on to the 12-year sherry?
Okay. A little bit.
Good nose.
A little bit more there, yeah.
Raisins, a little darker nose.
I think so.
Rich, a little richer.
Of course, this is all barrel.
Yeah, this kind of smells like a, you know,
I wonder what the percentage of bourbon to sherry.
like an Eccles cake, if you've ever had an Eccles cake. Like a nice, savory, sweet pastry with raisins and things in it. Same body to it. Also very light.
It's just a little softer taste. No more body than the other one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm picking up a ton of difference there. Go back to the.
There's a tiny bit of difference.
Yeah, I certainly detected it in the nose initially.
That's very, very clean fruity.
The 12-year. Yeah. Okay. So going back and forth between the two, the Dualchas definitely has a brighter, more pear type of profile to it, and has a spicier finish. I think that this 12-year sherry version definitely has a more rounded finish to it, a little softer.
I'm not
And
really pulling up
slightly
a lot of sherry that's very distinctive as sherry, but
Nope.
I think it's contributing to the difference in the bourbon, basic bourbon addition to it. So
for sure. It definitely has a difference in the nose and in the flavor. I don't taste the difference as much in the front or middle palate, but on the finish, it definitely has a bit of a smoother finish to it.
a little more complex.
I'll tell you, this has a nose similar to many of the several $100 scotches that I've had. The palate, it doesn't hold up once you get it in your mouth, but to those. But it's quite good. Trying to think what I would compare these to.
Well, it's got a heavier body than Glenlivet and Glenfiddich.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the lightest, you can imagine.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to have them side by side.
Although it's not as heavy as something like Speyburn that we've had.
Right. Especially once you added some Isla whiskey to it.
Yeah. Anyway,
so if you had your choice, which this is close to twice as much as this one. I think I'd have to go with
the regular one.
the regular one.
Yeah, well, I think our followers have figured out that we're not really going to recommend a Scotch that costs $2,000 a bottle over one that costs $50 or $30 a bottle and is a perfectly fine drink.
Well, yeah, they're amazing. The really highly aged Scotches are incredible. They really are.
Yeah.
But for my money, I'm probably gonna, I'm not gonna reach for this Tomatin when I want a really like a celebration, a really nice dram. I would probably reach for this one more, often, because this would be something you could pull out anytime and enjoy. And this is a good, probably a really good spring, summer.
Oh, it's a nice whiskey, and it's a nice price. It's on the lower level of the single malts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a good.
You're not going to find them too much cheaper than that.
No, it's a good one.
And it doesn't taste cheap to me. So
No, it doesn't.
It has some really interesting notes that I haven't found with a lot of the lower end ones. But both good. Those are the differences. They're not massive enough for me to recommend this one over this one.
No, I don't think
But I think you'd be pretty happy with this one if you liked what we described.
Absolutely.
So follow us to find out what we're drinking next, and you never know what's going to come up. We never know what's going to come up.
Do like us and do subscribe. And if you want, send us questions, and we'll be happy to respond if we can.
Absolutely.
Sláinte.
Cheers.